Let's call this meeting to order. First, I'd like to request if you have a cell phone with you that you please put it on silent, including the council. I had mine on loud. Councilman Snell, would you deliver the invocation this evening?
Rise, please. Dear Lord Jesus, thou hast promised us, O Lord, that you would send the Holy Spirit down to help us in times like these, Lord. And Lord, just be with us tonight as we go through these procedures. Let every councilman vote his mind and his peace and have the Cherokee people in mind as he is doing his work tonight. Lord, be with our troops overseas. Be with the elderly people and the young. Thank you, Lord, for everything. We thank you, Lord. Amen. Be seated, please.
Thank you, Mr. Snell. Roll call.
Bill Anglin.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Bradley Cobb.
Honey.
Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk. Here. Meredith Fraley.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright.
Here.
John Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
Tina Glory Jordan.
Present.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Soap.
Here.
David Thornton.
Present.
Kara Cowan Watts.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Next order of business is approval of the December 15 regular session minutes.
So moved. Second.
Moved and second that we approve the minutes as written. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Minutes stand approved as written. Next order of business is State of the Nation. Principal Chief Chad Smith is not here this evening, nor is Deputy Chief Grayson, so our Secretary of State, Melanie Knight, will give the State of the Nation.
I'd first like to indulge, if the council would indulge us, the chief has prepared a video that he'd like to show first with some of the issues he'd like to present. So with that, I'll start that video.
Good evening. It's my opportunity to appear in front of you with a video for the State of the Nation this January 2009. I cannot be with you this evening because a delegation from the Cherokee Nation is going to San Jose, California. We left this afternoon to visit Apple Computers. It's really a fascinating opportunity for our education, language, and leadership staff to visit with top officials from Apple Company about furthering our language initiative. It's really an interesting historical parallel. 180 years ago, Sequoia, with his great intelligence, used the technology available to him at the time, pen and paper. Now at this date, we have a similar opportunity with that great Cherokee intelligence to use a different technology. And that technology is electronic. Computers, iPhones, and technology we don't comprehend yet. So it'll give us a great opportunity to visit with Apple and their earnest desire to help us revitalize our language. The next issue I wanted to visit with you about is the presidential inauguration. Years ago, we determined in the Cherokee Nation to have a presence in Washington. If we are not in Washington, we are invisible. We need to be at the table to represent our people. And if we don't represent ourselves, who will? Who will speak for us if we're not there? So as a result of that concern and that decision, we established a Washington, D.C. office. It's been very effective. We have a new administration. We have a new opportunity to set policy and get things done for the Cherokee Nation in Indian country. But we cannot do that if we're not at the table. If we don't have a presence in Washington, talking to those decision makers when they're making decisions that affect us. We contributed through C&B to the inauguration, not to a political campaign. It's a sponsorship for the inauguration, and that sponsorship would have been made regardless who was elected president. We do many sponsorships and contributions to social groups, to civic groups, and to political groups. It's a sponsorship much like advertising and promotion. The council also months ago, during the budget process, decided as a body to attend the inauguration. Most recently, 16 of 17 council members committed to go to Washington and obligated funds for hotels and attendance at events. And I fully support the council going, because if they're not there representing us, who will be? They need to speak on behalf of the Cherokee Nation, as I do. The last issue has a bit of sadness to it and a bit of greatness. Of course, we're all mourning the loss of Oklahoma to Florida. It was a great game, and we were so very proud of that moment because Sam Bradford, a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, was a leader of that football team. Even though we didn't win, we all had a great swelling pride in our fellow citizen. To capture that moment and to show our support of Sam Bradford and to congratulate him on his great achievements, we printed and published a t-shirt, a Sam Bradford congratulatory t-shirt. On the front it had OU in the Cherokee language. At the bottom had Cherokee Nation. On the back it had our seal, his number, his name in Cherokee, and in Cherokee the phrase, lead by example. And that's what we value so much. His leadership, quiet, unassuming, but he leads by example. And that's the kind of leadership we historically have had, and that we want to continue to seed among our youth. And nobody can penetrate our youth today like the voice of Sam Bradford. We took 500 shirts to Miami and gave them to Cherokee staff. And then those shirts that were left over we gave to Cherokee fans, to OU fans that were going to the game so we could have a presence of support there. We received hundreds and hundreds of calls across the country and emails and texts that how can we get one of those shirts. So C&E and C&B are working with the licensing department at the University of Oklahoma to get a license for the shirt so we could put it on the website and sell those shirts and perhaps contribute the proceeds to a leadership fund. For me, it tells us several things. We're proud of a fellow citizen when he leads. It also evidences a great hunger for leadership in Indian country and within the Cherokee Nation. And when we understand there's a great hunger for leadership, it's a challenge for each of us as elected officials, as community people, as family members, to assert that leadership, to take the Cherokee Nation a little bit further, to advance the interests of the Cherokee Nation. Whether it's on a football field, in our communities, in our churches, here in the council building, or in Washington, D.C. Melanie Knight will complete my State of the Nation this evening. Good evening. Widow.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
First of all, and this isn't in my script, but I just wanted to acknowledge the Youth Council members that are here tonight. Thanks for being here. Each month we take a moment to recognize and honor those who have passed since our last meeting. And we've lost many friends, loved ones, and citizens over the past month. Mary McNeil, who's the mother of Melissa Gower, Frances Allard, who is the mother of Reva Crawford, Lucy Jane Hillian Ford, who is the mother of Callie Ketcher, Sean Grayson, the brother of our Deputy Chief, James Osawe, Cherokee Nation employee, Marilyn Cochran, Cherokee Nation language teacher, Lizzie Duncan, Mae Jean Kitchen, Sean Moore, Jeffrey Lynn Hogner, Lily Grass, and Henry Soap, who's the brother of Charlie Soap. So, and I also like to invite, if there's any names that I missed, do any of the council have any names to acknowledge tonight?
Mr. Crittenden?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Reverend John Hummingbird.
Thank you.
Mr. Garvin?
I have a lady in my district, Elizabeth Sullivan, passed away, former working the BIA.
Thank you, Councilor Garvin. So tonight, if we could just acknowledge them.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Mr. Thornton.
We not only lost Mrs. Grass, but we also lost Mr. McConnell. Lived even in shade.
Mr. McConnell. Thank you.
Any others? Yes, Ms. Fishing Hawk?
Nancy Sawney, she's a full lead lady that lived at Bell and Stewart.
Thank you.
Any others? Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So if we could just pause for a moment and honor these folks with a moment of silence. What else? Tonight I'm privileged to stand in for the Principal Chief to honor individuals who've given much to the Cherokee communities. The award presented by the Principal Chief is called the Gadugi Award. Gadugi is Cherokees coming together and working for the benefit of all. It's a Cherokee tradition. Not only a tradition, Gadugi remains an integral part of our Cherokee makeup that we practice every day in communities. And tonight we have two people that have done good work in communities, and they're an example for us all. And I'd invite Dr. Brad Cobb and Buell Anglin, who represent District 8, to come forward, if you would. And we'd like to honor these two individuals. The first individual is Lahoma Wilson. Ms. Wilson has served many years as a volunteer instructor with Native American children and has been an active storyteller. The 8th generation granddaughter of Ostinaco, she has represented the Cherokee people throughout her storytelling in schools all through the Cherokee Nation. So if Ms. Wilson would come forward, we'd like to present you with something.
Would you like to say
Would you
something?
like to say a few words?
Say anything about it?
Well, I have been telling stories for years and years and years, and I went to camp with kids for 20 years and told Indian stories at the campfire, so I have just told stories all my life. And I thank you for this conversation.
The next individual we'd like to honor is Michelle Hamilton. Ms. Hamilton became interested in Cherokee politics while still living in California in the 1970s and has a great interest in Cherokee history. In the 1980s, she served on the board of directors of the Indian Health Resource Center of Tulsa, including serving as their president. Throughout her adulthood, she has researched her own Cherokee family as well as general Cherokee history. Congratulations to these two women, and we'd like to take a photo with Ms. Hamilton.
And this is my mother.
Do you have a few words to say?
My mother got me interested in Cherokee, the Cherokee people as a whole, because she has been very active in the communities and has come to the schools where most of my children have attended, and my nieces and nephews. and told Indian stories and cooked fry bread and wore her Cherokee dress and explained to her. And in one of the newspaper articles, she had gone to Skytug, and the little boy asked her, well, when did you decide you wanted to be an Indian? And so we always, that's kind of a joke. But I am very fortunate that under Dr. Julia Coates' expertise, I am now teaching the Cherokee history in Tulsa. And I have a class every February and every August. So always tell everybody, because I have it every year, twice a year. So, and I have enjoyed that tremendously. I just seem to learn so much from my students as well as each time I'm able to teach it. And I feel very privileged to be able to do this. And I thank you.
Every month we honor our Cherokee warriors, and tonight I'd like to ask the Speaker and Deputy Speaker to accompany me in making these honors to 6 members of the Rohr family who have served. And as I call your name, if you'd please come forward, because Rohrs must have a large family. We've got many of them that have served. Colby G. Rohr, who served in the U.S. Marine Corps. Chad A. Rohr, serving in the U.S. Marine Corps. Curtis L. Rohr, 45th Division, Oklahoma National Guard. Robert Wayne Rohr, U.S. Navy Seabees. Arlen Wayne Rohr, U.S. Air Force. And Shannon Wayne Rohr, U.S. Army and Army National Guard. And I understand Shannon Rohr can't be with us tonight, but we'll send his plaque with his family here. So if you'd like to present these now at this time.
Arlen.
Drop the check. Drop the check.
At this time, do any of y'all have anything to say about sharing anything about what you've experienced?
Well, I just want to say that we're most of all proud to be Cherokees, and also for the opportunity to serve our country in whatever capacity we were able to do so. I was telling some of the younger fellas, there's been one of our ancestors that served the country from the beginning of the Revolution up to now, except the Mexican War. I don't believe any of us went to that. But thank you very much.
Thank you all. I think that's all. Thank you all for that. Now for some program updates. Cherokee Nation received a Certificate of Excellence from the Oklahoma Turning Point Council, who recognize businesses that provide health and wellness opportunities to employees and that improve Oklahoma's health status. So congratulations for us as a business, healthy business. Cherokee Nation's W.W. Hastings Hospital is getting a facelift that will include new equipment, furniture, and other things. The improvements will give doctors and healthcare staff updated equipment and help patients and guests feel more comfortable in the facility. Some of the changes being made are new waiting room chairs, new hospital beds, new ceiling tiles and fresh paint, and a new dining cafe. And if you haven't been to the cafe, I understand the food's quite good. The new equipment on the way include much-needed mammography and ultrasound machines. The Cherokee Nation's environmental program is working with the EPA in a national campaign to educate Americans about the dangers of radon exposure. We'll be providing radon test kits to families in the Cherokee Nation as part of the National Radon Action Month. Cherokee Nation is planning on the construction of a Veterans Center, and we're looking for volunteers presently. So if you're willing to volunteer for the Veterans Center, please contact Avo 5 Killer, and her number is 453-5647. You'll be seeing more about the Veterans Facility Project and further updates as we proceed. In community and other news, Cherokee Casino's employees donated $700 in gift cards to the Cherokee Elder Care Program. Cherokee Casino West Siloam Springs delivered 2 new Dell GX 330 desktop computers on January 6th to Mosley Public School. An additional donation of $2,500 for computer software is slated to be given to the school within the next 2 weeks. Our award-winning Cherokee National Youth Choir will hold auditions for the upcoming year tomorrow, Tuesday, January the 13th, from 3 to 8 p.m. in the Tribal Council chambers right here. Hastings Hospital will be hosting a men's health fair on Friday, January the 16th, from 9 a.m. till noon in dining rooms A and B at the hospital, and that's located at 100 South Bliss Avenue here in Tahlequah. Sequoia Schools will again participate in a nationwide breast cancer awareness event called Think Pink. If you or someone you know is a breast cancer survivor and would like to be recognized at Sequoia's Think Pink event, they're having a basketball game. You can contact Tara Shows at Sequoia Schools, and her number is 453-5542. The Think Pink game will take place at Sequoia on January 31st at 4 o'clock p.m., and all proceeds from the game will benefit a local breast cancer charity. Cherokee Nation's behavioral health staff are hosting several watch parties for the national showing of a 30-minute documentary called Crystal Darkness. The documentary focuses on how community members can work together to fight back against the use of meth and other drugs. The show will be aired on Channel 2, 6, and 8, Channel 23, and Channel 11 around here locally, and that will happen tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. if you want to watch that. To find a watch party in your community, you can contact our behavioral health group, and their number is 207-3898. We also finally want to congratulate Jamie Hummingbird. I don't know if he's here in the room, but if he is, would you stand, Jamie? There you are. And now I can tell you why. He was recently named one of the Global Gaming Business's top 25 people to watch. The story is in the January issue of the Global Gaming Business magazine, so we're keeping our eye on you, Jamie. With that, that's the State of the Nation for tonight, and I appreciate your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Knight. Next order of business is action of unfinished business. There being none pending, we'll move on down to committee reports. First report is Housing Authority, David Sutherland. Good evening, David.
Good evening. I didn't know Jamie worked for a magazine. I have a brief report this evening. Housing Authority's regular board meeting will be next Tuesday, the 20th. Meeting, of course, is 5:30. We're going to have a light agenda for that meeting. We should be getting our premium information from Ameren on the Community Shield program anytime. I anticipate an increase. They always have some type of increase, but I'm not sure what amount at this point. We have over 2,300 families, Cherokee families, participating on that program. But as soon as I get a number, I'll let you all know what it is, because once we send out the letters, you always get calls. So we'll let you know what that is beforehand. The Southern Plains Indian Housing Association winter meeting is next Tuesday and Wednesday in Oklahoma City. If anyone interested in that, just give me a holler and I'll get you an agenda. The auditors are back in town this week. We're still expecting the final audit by the end of the month or shortly thereafter. And like I said, that was a brief report, but I think I'm still down in the mouth over that ball game last Thursday a little bit. So that's my report. And if you have any questions, I'll sure be happy to try to answer.
Any questions, comments for Mr. Sutherland? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This report is David Stewart, Cherokee Nation Enterprises.
Good evening. I don't know how you pulled that one off, Jamie. Year-to-date operating results, although they were similar to last year, they were significantly behind budget, so we continually fight the economy and ways to cut costs, so our staff is very focused on that. West Siloam Springs opened in November, and it's doing well. We've seen good operating results, so I hope you all have been out there to see the property. We're really proud of it, and I think you are as well. Phase 2 is underway, and the hotel is being rebid to try to reduce construction costs. The Catoosa Hotel is projected to open in April, and the concert hall will also be rebid to try to save construction costs as well. Our employee count is at 3,500, 60% Cherokee and 70% Native. So as we hire more people, we're holding our percentages, and we're continuing to try to increase those. Our credit line is at $16 million, $10 million for the landfill, approximately $2 million to C&I for operating capital, and approximately $4 million for C&E's construction costs. So we're just starting to ease into using the credit line. If you'd like, Madam Chair, I would go ahead into C and B, and then we can cover questions, if that would be fine.
No, please do.
I've met with the management team is taking over the chief executive role, trying to get my arms around the projects, trying to make a smooth transition, and we wish Brad the best as he airs his way to Iraq. Primary projects are the landfill, and the construction is ongoing. Expect to be open in March. We have several other projects that are ongoing. We continue to evaluate those, so I will update those over the next coming months as I get more familiar with them. We'll focus on governance issues with regard to our investments to make sure that we have the proper controls in place to ensure, the protection of our asset there, and getting more involved and make sure those are operating well. So I'd be happy to answer questions on any of those two fronts.
Anyone have any questions? Ms. Fishing-Hawk? I would just like to tell Stewart, thank you for taking care of the landfill.
Okay, well.
I appreciate it. If you all don't know, the employees out at the landfill was 100% Cherokee employment, and I'm taking it it's probably one of our only businesses that is that, and Stewart's committed to keeping it 100% employed, so me and Joe are actually proud of something at the landfill. So thank you, Stewart.
Okay, you're quite welcome.
Can I echo that, Madam Speaker?
That's what we do.
Any other comments? Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Okay, thank you.
Cherokee Nation Enterprises, Brian Collins. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, Council. Tonight my report is brief. Our employment numbers at C&I currently at 431 with a 87% Native American employment. The financials for December are not completed yet. We'll make a report in the E&F. Two good points, though, I want to have tonight, that we received letters of intent today. First one is, both these are construction jobs. First one is for the East Central Oklahoma Electric Co-op. They're adding a 22,000 square foot new headquarters and remodeling a 30,000 square foot existing building, which is a $5 million contract, which we hope to have all the documents and kick off to start construction in March. The second project is a 300-unit apartment complex. It's a HUD contract in Oklahoma City, which is a $16.7 million contract that we also are expecting a kickoff in March, mid-March as well. And I'll have more details on those. Like I say, we received the letters of intents today. We've been working hard to gain back the revenues and build that business unit up. And so with these added to and others that we're chasing, you'll see that the construction unit is definitely going to be a shining star for us in the long run. With that said, our next Board of Directors meeting is Monday, January 26th at 2 o'clock in Tulsa. So with that said, if there's any questions.
Any questions? Comments? Brian, would your letters of intent, are you the major contractor on those?
Yeah, we're the prime general contractor for these.
Well, good.
So,
congratulations.
thank you.
Next order of business is new business, and out of Health Committee comes a resolution supporting and endorsing the Cherokee Nation 15-year Health Capital Improvement Plan. Dr. Cobb or Ms. Fulbright?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Cherokee Nation Health Services completed a 15-year long-range plan in 2001. Long-range plan addressed expansion within the Cherokee Nation Health System. The long-range plan was updated during the 2005-2006 year, and this resolution basically shows that the Council strongly supports and endorses the original 2001 long-range health plan, which was updated in 2006. And I would move for approval of that.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Out of Rules Committee comes item 2. It's a resolution asking support for the development of a child abduction response team. Councilman Soap.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a resolution to support the development of a CART program, which is the Child Abduction Response Team. This is an opportunity to take advantage of funding available in Indian country. We all know that there's some issues with government-to-government relationships with law enforcement and so forth. So I think the more training we can get in this area, the better it will be for a child if, in fact, one gets abducted in the Cherokee Nation. I think we could have a quicker response and have better training. I think that will benefit us all. Move for its approval.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 3 is a resolution. The purpose of this resolution is to authorize litigation to be brought on behalf of the Cherokee Nation as a result of a ruling by the U.S. District Court for the District of Colorado. The court's ruling changes a formula for receiving funds under the 1937 Housing Act for housing needs and maintenance and operation of low-rent and mutual help units. This change may severely impact the Cherokee Nation's allocation of housing block funds. Therefore, to help avoid any negative impact on our future funding, we should seriously consider approving this resolution.
I would move for its approval, Madam Speaker.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution confirming the nomination of Jennifer Barger Johnson as a commissioner of the Gaming Commission. Ms. Tina Glory Jordan.
Ms. Speaker, I would make a motion that we approve 4 through 11, which is confirmation of appointments to boards in total.
I second that.
Moved in second. Any discussion on approving these in toto? Okay. Continue.
That would be a resolution confirming the nomination of Jennifer Barker Johnson as the Commissioner of the Cherokee Nation Gaming Commission, a resolution confirming the nomination of Jay Hanna as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Enterprises Board of Directors, a resolution confirming the renomination of Michael Weber as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Enterprises Incorporated Board of Directors, Number 7 is a resolution confirming the renomination of David Tipicani as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Enterprises Incorporated Board of Directors. 8, a resolution confirming the renomination of Warren Ross as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Industries Incorporated Board of Directors. 9 is a resolution confirming the reappointment of Charles Puckett as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Industries Incorporated Board of Directors. Number 10, a resolution confirming the renomination of David Ballou as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Industries Incorporated Board of Directors. And number 11 is a resolution confirming the renomination of Jay Hanna as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Businesses Board of Directors.
Is there any discussion on these nominations? I don't believe any of those gentlemen are here this evening.
All right.
Or ladies. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Items 4 through 11 are approved in toto. Item 12 is amendment approving Mod 3 to the 2009 budget. Mr. Baker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This Mod 3 of the 2009 fiscal year shows an increase in the motor fuels tax of $2 million, which $200,000 of that is to go to minor emergency repairs and $1,800,000 to higher education scholarship. The mod also provides for health discretionary funding increase of $100,000, a cash match for grants of $393,000 for grants received of over $6.25 million. This is some of the items in Mod 3, for a total budget authority of $499 million for the Cherokee Nation. I make a motion that we approve it.
Second. Moved and second. Any discussion? Any discussion on Mod 3?
It is enacted by acclamation.
By acclamation. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The amendment is approved. Are there any announcements? Well, we're in a hurry this evening, aren't we, Mr. Garvin?
I encourage everyone to watch the program tomorrow night, 6:30 on Crystal Darkness. It's, I understand, outstanding.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Baker?
if I could yield to the Youth Council, they've got an announcement apparently.
Oh, sure. Come forward.
My name is J.C. Lowe. I'm from the Youth Council. I represent District 4, Don Garvin's district. The Cherokee Nation Tribal Youth Council will have a 3-on-3 tournament on Saturday, January 24th. And if you want any information on that, you can contact Reva Werner, her at 918-458-0671. Her extension is 5397. So if you want information on that, if you can contact her.
Did anyone have any questions or comments?
Where's it going to be?
It's going to be at the old Sequoia Gym.
3-on-3?
3-on-3. Mm-hmm.
Have you picked out 3 gentlemen here that you want on your team?
Are there any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you. Mr. Hoskin?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to acknowledge the Youth Council. They were in Veneta over the weekend for their monthly meeting, and they're a great bunch, and I was sure pleased that they could be in my community this past weekend, so I applaud them. Thank you.
Mr. Soak?
I just wanted to make a comment, Madam Speaker, for the Youth Council that I did hear the other day that Speaker Fraley was pretty dominant as a 3-on-3 basketball player, so you might check back at the Locust Grove, record books or so forth.
Any other announcements?
Recruiters.
Entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Wow. 6:48.